Let's get started. My name is Richa Maheshwari and Ankit has also very warmly welcomed me. But just to give you a quick highlight of the kind of sessions I do primarily is on motivation. I'm a personal development and a personal growth trainer and a coach, and I love what I do. I'm very passionate about empowering people and transforming lives. My social media handles are Inspiration with Richa, and 3 lakh people motivated, empowered, and trained so far in the last 15 years of my training experience and speaking experience. All right, so let's get into the agenda. What do we have in store for us today? So, we are going to talk about how do you move or how do you make a transition from routine efforts to remarkable results. And in this session, we're going to talk about how do you have a breakthrough in your attitude, in your mindset, in your confidence level? How do you have a breakthrough in your personal and professional relationships? And lastly, how do you have a breakthrough in your exponential growth? So the session is going to have small activities in the middle. So I would really encourage you to ensure that you take part in these activities to get the maximum benefit from this session today. We get into a small little activity right now, and this activity is called as draw a scenery. Now, if you can find a paper and a pen or a pencil nearby, I would just want you to take 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes and just draw a beautiful scenery. Whatever comes to your mind, just draw a beautiful scenery in the next 2 to 2.5 minutes. And I'm going to put my stopwatch on so that we are in charge of time. 2 minutes starts now. The instruction is very simple. Draw a beautiful scenery. Okay, and that's the time up. Please stop. Okay. So I want to ask you all, and please be honest about it. I want you to put in the chat box every time I ask you a question. Okay. Now, how many of you drew a mountain? Raise your hands or just put me in the chat box. Put me in the chat box. How many of you have painted or drawn or sketched a mountain? Me or yes? Okay. How many of you have made trees? Put me in the chat box or yes in the chat box. Lovely. Okay. How many of you have made small huts? You know, those small cottages or huts? Say me in the chat box. All right. How many of you have made small nadi, like small rivers in your scenery? Please write me. Okay. Awesome. How many of you have made clouds in your scenery? Write yes or me. All right. How many of you have made birds in the sky? Put a yes in the chat box. All right. Interesting. How many of you made sun in the chat box? Please write a yes, a sun. Okay, I don't think I left anything out, right? So this is a typical scenery. Now, how do I know what you have drawn? I cannot, of course, see what you have drawn, but how do I know what you've drawn? Anyone? Anyone can tell me? How do I know what you've drawn? Imagination by explaining. Okay. Because that's what we drew in our childhood. Absolutely right, Shraddha. Yes, absolutely right. Because most of us, I would say 95% of us, through our childhood, ever since we were in standard 1 or 2 or wherever, but till now, we are drawing the same scenery. We have not changed our scenery because scenery for us means clouds, mountains, trees, rivers, huts, birds in the sky, etc. But has anyone drawn anything separate or anything absolutely different from what I have just mentioned? Anyone? Any of you? Let me see in the chat box. Okay, Deepak, you have made a tea table, chair, cricket ground. Okay, interesting. All right. Anyone else who's made anything different from what I've just spoken about right now? All right, interesting. Bench to sit and view. Yes, fruits on trees and boats. Good. A boat. All right. So, what we're trying to say over here, my dear friends, is when we do something that we have always been doing, we will also get what we have always got. Okay. So, what does this mean? What got you here won't get you there. Okay. So, if you have always done something and you expect a very different result, it won't happen. To do something different, you have to be somebody different. And to be somebody different, you have to think something different. But most of us thought about mountains and rivers and sun and boat and all of those things because that's what has been conditioned in our minds since childhood. Would you all agree to that? Yes or yes in the chat box. We all are nothing but victims of conditioning from our childhood. Now, why are we talking about that in today's session? Because today's session talks about how to break free from regular habits and regular routines to do something different, to do something remarkable, to do something which is out of the ordinary. Yes? So that's what the session is all about. So, what is your potential and what is stopping you from your 10x exponential growth? There is no one stopping you. There is nothing which may stop you. The only thing which stops you is what? Let me know in the chat box. What is the only thing which stops you from reaching your full potential? What is that one thing which stops you from becoming the best version of yourself? Yes, it is your mindset. You yourself stop yourself from going the extra mile for yourself. Yes, your conditioning, your mindset, your motivation, all of those things. So essentially, my dear friends, what stops you from growing is yourself only. The negative thoughts which come in, right? The negative mindset which comes in. So this is something that needs to have, you need to tackle it really, really properly because your mind is a faithful servant. Okay. And every time you feed your mind with something, your mind will say, yes, master, and do that thing. The mind doesn't care whether a thought is positive or negative. The mind only responds like a faithful servant. Okay. All right. So, so the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. I want you all to take a picture of this particular slide and say this over to yourself again and again every single day, that the only person you are destined to become is the person that you decide to be. What you decide to do and what you decide to be is upon you. The choice is always yours. Am I making sense? Yes, in the chat box, please, if you agree. So I want you to tell me, dear friends, what is your story? Meaning, we all live in this world of excuses, this bubble in our life of the word excuses. And I'm also very guilty of living in this, bubble of excuses because a lot of times we feel, oh, I don't have enough time. Oh, my house help didn't come today. Oh, I will start from today. I had a late night yesterday. I can't get up in the morning for my routine workout, etc. So the stories we tell ourselves is the narrative that we have for ourselves. This is called as what is your story. So I want you to put in the chat box, what is your story? What are the excuses that you give yourself? And please, please, please be honest about it. There are no judgments over here. There is no assumptions over here. Okay, so I want you all to be as honest as you can with yourself. What is the story you tell yourself? What is your everyday story? Yes, thank you so much, one Kalyampati, that you will say that I will start from tomorrow. But most of the time, that tomorrow never comes, right? Yes. I'm not talented enough. Absolutely. I will do it tomorrow. Yes. So maid didn't come. That's every woman's life story, right? The maid didn't come today. Okay. So what I want you all to focus upon really is the story that we tell ourselves is the excuse that our mind is giving us to buy some more time. And that's detrimental to our growth because if we want to grow, we have to control the mind, not the other way around. The mind cannot control us. We need to be in control of our life and our mind. All right. All right. So moving on from here, how can you have a breakthrough mindset and attitude is two things. First of all, you need to be very, very persistent and have a lot of resilience, which means that if you decide to do something, you need to be consistent about it. Not ki ek din kiya and after that you've forgotten about it completely, right? It's not like a New Year resolution that one day you start and 1st of January you are with full energy and you want to kickstart a new resolution that you have, and then come 1st February that resolution is gone out of the window. So you need to be persistent about what you want, and also you need to have a strong belief in yourself. This is the most important because people around you may not believe you, but you need to have the self-confidence and the self-belief in yourself if you want to have a good life, a successful life. Okay, so that's a winning attitude and mindset. Here's a small video which I want to share with you all. And Ankit, may I request you to please share this video?
It requires a glass jar with a lid. Training fleas requires a glass jar with a lid. The fleas are placed inside the jar and the lid is then sealed. They are left undisturbed for 3 days. Then, when the jar is opened, the fleas will not jump out. In fact, the fleas will never jump higher than the level set by the lid. Their behaviour is now set for the rest of their lives. And, when these fleas reproduce, their offspring will automatically follow their example.
I guess it comes down to a simple choice, really. Get busy living, or get busy dying.
Okay, you can stop the video, Ankit. Thank you. All right, so what did we see? The conditioning that the fleas had, right? So they were put inside a jar and the lid was covered for 3 days. They thought that this is my boundary. I will be only circling in this particular area and boundary. But after 3 days, even once the lid was opened, they had the option to come out or move ahead of that level that was set. But still, they did not even try, because in their mind they had already conditioned that this is my area of expertise. I can be in only this place. And that's what the video is, all about. The way you condition yourself, the way you have limiting beliefs in your mind about certain things, and you think this is my this is what is my level, or this much is how much I can do, this is my capability, or this is my potential. And that's so wrong, because we are so much more than that, right? All right. So let's move forward from here. The reason why I showed this particular video is to make us understand a very interesting concept, that there are two types of mindset: a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Now, what does a fixed mindset talk about? Fixed mindset is all about limiting yourself, that I am like this only, that my limits are here only, my ability is this, my talent is this much only. I'm either good at it or I'm not good at it. If somebody is giving me a feedback, I get frustrated. I know what I know. Please don't tell me about anything more. So that's a fixed mindset. But a growth mindset is always looking for opportunities to bloom. It's always looking for challenges to help them grow. And they don't fix themselves. People with a growth mindset don't think कि मुझे इतना ही पता है. They always stretch themselves and go beyond what they feel that they know. So growth mindset likes to try new things, and fixed mindset says, this much I know and this is all I need to know. I don't need to go beyond that. So I want you all to ask yourself a very important question, and you don't have to put the answer in the chat box for this. It is for your own self-reflection. What mindset do you operate from? Knowing yourself, because you know yourself the best, what mindset do you generally operate from? Do you operate from a growth mindset, or are you somebody with a fixed mindset? Because if you know what kind of mindset you have, you'll be able to improve and enhance your mindset accordingly. Okay? All right. So here's a very important question for all of you. And I'll just quickly say there's something in the chat box. Okay. Good. Thank you for realizing that, Vankalai Pati. Yes, if you know that you have a fixed mindset, you know that you need to make that change from a fixed to a growth mindset, and we will talk about that in some time as well. Okay. All right. So, if I have to ask you a question, will you be able to pass through this piece of paper? Do you think you can pass through this piece of paper? Your whole body through this piece of paper? Give me a yes or a no in the chat box. Do you think you can pass through this paper? No? Some more answers, please. All right. Difficult to pass through a piece of paper like this, right? It's such a small piece of paper. How would you put your entire body through this piece of paper? Very interesting. Oh, Shraddha says maybe if I can eat it. Good one, Shraddha. Thanks for sharing that. All right. Let's watch this video to see the kind of possibilities people can come up with. Okay. So, Ankit, may I request you to please play the video? I'll stop sharing my screen.
How is this possible?
No.
I can't.
What does this video teach us? Thinking out of the box. Yes, Srinivas, absolutely right. Because we limit our mind with the limitations that we have put on our mind. But there is a possibility even in the impossibility, right? And when I first asked you all, can you pass through this piece of paper? It looked impossible because how would you put your entire body through this piece of paper? But when you see the video, it makes you realize that how important it is to think out of the box, right? And most of us are not ready to think out of the box because we are stuck in the same routines and the patterns of thinking, my dear friends. And when you have a same pattern of thinking, it's very difficult to think out of the box. Would you all agree to that? Okay. We talk a little bit about routines and habits and what is the difference between routines and habits. Do you think both the words mean the same thing or do you think they're slightly different? And if they are different, how are they different? What do you all say? Routines and habits. What is the basic difference between the two? Anyone? They are different. Yes, thank you. How are they different? What are routines and what are habits? Okay. While you all are thinking and putting that in the chat box, let me take you through some of the most important differences between routines and habits. Now, a routine is basically a conscious framework. You think about a routine. Like, for example, you have a routine for your morning routine, right? There's a specific way you handle your mornings. There's a time you wake up. There's a time you exercise or work out or whatever, and then there's a time for getting ready and having your breakfast and going for work and everything. So that's your routine. It's conscious, right? You have a structured way of doing things in your day, your time, your activities. You have a structure to it. You do a lot of attention and planning of things to make a routine successful, right? Now, what are habits on the other hand is habit is a behavior which happens subconsciously without you even realizing it because it happens automatically. Once a routine becomes so continuously, if you keep doing something again and again, it becomes automatic and it becomes a part of your habit, and they are formed through repetition. So the more you repeat a particular behavior, it becomes a habit. Right? Now, for example, if you have a habit of charging your phone on the right side of your sleeping table, if I ask you to do it on the left side, you're changing a habit because your mind is already accustomed to seeing your phone on the right side of your bed. Right? So, automatic behavior is nothing but habits. And habits and routines are different in that way because your routine is conscious. You are aware of when you're doing a routine, but your habits happen so automatically that you don't even realize it. For example, brushing your teeth with your right hand in the morning, if you are a right-handed person. It's a habit because you don't even realize it. You don't have to consciously make an effort to realize it, right? So that's the difference between basic routines and habits. Now, let's do a small poll over here. I want you to question your everyday routine. Since the session today is about routines, I want you to just think about your everyday routines. And if you have to get rid of any particular routine that is no longer serving you, what are some of the reasons? Is it the fear of uncertainty, fear of failure, fear of being helpless, fear of the unknown? Please take the poll and jot down your answers. Okay. So the results are surprisingly 36% of people have a fear of uncertainty because of which they're not able to change their routines. And it's there in front of you, right? You all can see the different percentages given. So fear of uncertainty tops the entire list of why you're not able to change a particular routine. So I want to ask you all, what makes you what is the fear of uncertainty because of which you're not able to change a certain routine which is no longer helping you? What is the routine that you would like to change but have not been able to change for a long time? Could you mention that in the chat box, please? Okay. Any routine which you feel, I want to get rid of this routine, but I'm not able to because I feel stuck. What could be those routines for you? Mention it in the chat box, please. Yes, Mansi, fear of uncertainty and fear of unknown not really is the same, because uncertainty is something that you are not certain about, but unknown is something that you may know, but you do not know at the same time about it. Waking up early, okay. Sleeping late, waking up early. A lot of people have come out of bed in the early morning, trapped in the Facebook and Instagram reels. I know, Srinivas, that's a killer nowadays, right? I mean, you just get so hooked and addicted to your phones and social media and all of that, that's difficult to take your eyes off it. So these are certain routines that you know, you are aware that it is no longer serving you, but still you are unable to get out of it. Now let's take a look at why we are not able to remove these certain routines from our life. Okay. um, there are certain, powerful mantras which will help you to go from routine efforts to remarkable results. And I want you all to repeat this after me in your mind, or if you can say it loudly, well and good. I can do hard things. Please repeat it after me. I can do all hard things. Comfort is the enemy of success. Nobody is standing in my way. Every day, in every way, I am becoming better and better. So, how are we really positioning ourselves to go from routine efforts to remarkable results? We are conditioning our mind with the help of these powerful affirmations and mantras, which will help us to break certain routines. Now, the routines that you all mentioned in the chat box, if I have to ask you to change that routine, if there is a fear of uncertainty, would you like to describe what is that fear of uncertainty? That you don't know what is, if I don't do this particular thing, like for example, I don't like to wake up early and that's become a routine. I'm waking up late every day. If that's a routine you want to break free from, how are you going to remove the fear of uncertainty so that you are able to wake up early? Anyone in the chat box? What could be some of the fears of uncertainty which are stopping you? Yes, Deepak, a very good point. Find a purpose. Find, why you want to do that particular thing, right? Because if your why is not clear, if your purpose is not clear, then you will keep going round and round in circles, and you will not come to a point wherein you know what you want to do. So there is a very interesting, author and a speaker. His name is Simon Sinek. If you all have heard about him, Simon Sinek says in his, there is a very interesting concept called the golden circle. Golden circle talks about why. So if you know the why of your life, the what and how will follow. But if you don't know the why of why you're doing something, then what and how will be difficult to do it. Okay. So that's the reason why we need to do, we need to know why we need to change a particular routine or a habit. Okay. We're going to talk about a very interesting concept, and that is called as becoming intentional. When you want to shift your performance, when you want to shift your routine from routine efforts to remarkable results, you have to become intentional about what you want. Now, this is a very interesting concept called 80 by 20 Pareto principle. What does this say? 20% of your efforts can yield 80% of your results. You just have to concentrate on the 20% and you will get a result of 80%. I'll give you an example. You may have realized that in your wardrobe, I'm talking about both men and women over here, 20% of your clothes you wear 80% of the time. 20% of your clothes you wear 80% of the time. There may be many clothes in your wardrobe, but you only focus on those 20% of your clothes because you like it, or people have complimented you on those clothes and stuff like that, and they have become your personal favorite, that you don't even look at the other clothes. Even though those old clothes are torn and tattered, you refuse to throw them away because you just like those clothes a lot, right? So 20% of your clothes you wear 80% of the time. That's what I'm talking about over here, which means that you have to become conscious about what you want. What is your 20% which will give you 80% of the result? Because you don't have to do more to get more. You have to do less to get more. Does that make sense? Do less and get more. And how will that happen? You need to become intentional about it, which means you want to focus only on the 20% of things that you need to do in order to get 80% of the result. So I want you to pause right now and just reflect upon what is the 20% that you need to focus in your life. What is the 20% of actions, skills, behavior that you want to focus in your life? And are you focusing on that? And is your routine supporting you in that 20% that you have identified? Is your routine in alignment with that 20%, which will help you to get 80% of results? I want you to think about it deeply, because this is going to be a game changer for many of you who are attending the workshop today, the webinar today, right? Write down what is your 20%. In your notepad, write down what is the 20% that you need to focus on in your life, which will give you 80% of the result. Yes, set a goal is good, but Nikita, I would encourage you to make it a SMART goal. Not just any goal, but a SMART goal. It has to be specific, measurable, actionable, relatable, or relevant, and time bound. Then only it becomes a smart action plan. Okay. Yes, creating a proper tracking sheet so that many thoughts don't overwhelm. That's a good one, Shraddha. Yes. So I want these statements that you have written down, my dear friends, I want you to focus. Is your current routine helping you in this 20% to achieve? Okay, that's going to be a game changer. So please ensure that you live intentionally. Don't live just um, in a routine way which is not helping you, because most of the routines, trust me, in our life are no longer serving us, but we are continuously doing those routines every day in and day out, just because we are accustomed to it and we are habituated to it. Does that make sense? Yes or no in the chat box, please. Most of the routines are no longer serving us, but we are still stuck to it because we don't know how to change, or how to make that shift, right? Thank you. Yes, in the chat box. Good. Thank you so much, everyone, for that active participation in the chat box. All right. So moving on from here, how do we ignite the inner fire? Now we know that we want to change, but somewhere that fire is missing in us, somewhere that passion is missing in us. So how do we do it? The first point is embrace the champion within. We all know what are our strengths, what are our capabilities, what are our talents and our skills, etc. Right? So we need to embrace those strengths of ours. Play on your strengths, don't play on your weaknesses. The second is power of consistency. Ensure that if you have made up your mind about something, you stick to it. Do not keep changing yourself. If you've realized you need to change on a particular area, consistently make an action plan and follow it every single day without a break. Okay. Also, rise above the noise. What is the noise nowadays that you all are living? Most of us, what is the noise that we have around us? In the chat box, what is the noise that we have nowadays, which our time is consumed by? Yes. Overthinking, our reels. Oh God, yes. The social media is complete noise, right? Everyone's doing better than me. The news, the channels, so much to watch on OTT platforms like Netflix and Amazon, etc. All this is nothing but noise, right? Distractions around us, absolutely, right? So with so much of noise around us, it's so important to rise above the noise. And how would you rise above the noise? Please write down by being intentional. Only if you become intentional will you be able to rise above the noise. Anchor in your purpose. What is your purpose? What is the 20% that you have identified for yourself? You need to anchor yourself and align yourself in that purpose. Make that the mindset shift from a fixed to a growth mindset, and take ownership of your life. No one's coming for you, my dear friends. No one, people are there to help and support, but only you can only make that shift that's required to go from routine efforts to remarkable results. No one else will, do it for you. We have to do it for ourselves. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. Now it's time for another introspection activity. I want you all to write down and share it with me in the chat box also. What are your limiting beliefs? What are limiting beliefs? The things that you tell yourself that I can't do. They are your limiting beliefs. Like, for example, I am not good in this. I can never become smart enough. These are limiting beliefs which have been told to us in our childhood, probably by parents or by teachers or neighbors around us or whoever. People have told us a certain thing about us, and we have believed it to be true even in our adulthood, right? We have still taken those things from our childhood. So, what are those limiting beliefs that you live with? Write it down in the chat box. Okay, I'm not confident enough. I don't have control over my time. Yes, fear. Absolutely. I can never do 10 pull-ups. Okay, Divyesh. Fear. Yes. These are our limiting beliefs, right? That you all have put down. What patterns of thinking I need to, make a change to? So, what do you think, or patterns of thinking that you need to break from? What could be those patterns of thinking? Okay, it could be negative thinking, it could be overthinking, um, it could be anger, whatever you feel that you need to take a break from. What could be those patterns of thinking, and what are you going to do about it? Do you have a plan? What are you going to do about removing these limiting beliefs? I want you to be action focused and write down in the chat box what will you do about it. If overthinking is a pattern for you and you've been doing it for donkey's years, how would you break this pattern of overthinking? Give me some examples in the chat box, everyone. Come on, let's do this. Okay, positive mindset. All right. You need to have an actionable plan, a plan of action. It should not just be something random. I will do this. You have to make it a smart goal. Okay? Yes. Just do it. I like that, Sachin. Very nice. Yes. Do not worry, just go ahead and do it. That's a good plan, right? To remove negative beliefs or patterns of thinking. Lovely. Okay. Thank you so much for that interaction in the chat box, everyone. Okay. So, what you need to do is honestly shock your system into change. Do we like change? Are you fond of changes? Let me ask you. No, right? Many of us, okay, some yeses already, some no's as well. Change is not very easy. Change is always difficult, but change is the necessary thing that you need to do in order to move ahead in life, right? Otherwise, we'll all be just kids, small children without having grown into an adult, but still having a mindset of a child. So change is always good, but it's not always easy to go through change because your mind gives up on change. Mind likes things which are routine. Our mind likes everything that we've been doing for a long time in the same way, because the mind doesn't like to put an extra effort. Our mind is very lazy. Okay, our mind doesn't like to put an extra effort. So जो चल रहा है वो वैसे ही चलाता रहेगा till the time you actually consciously make an effort to change your way of thinking about certain things, right? So habits are first cobwebs. We all know how a cobweb is, right? And then once you practice those habits consistently and regularly, then those same cobwebs becomes cables, having a structure and a proper pattern to it, like cables, how cable wires are. A cobweb doesn't have a structure. Cobweb is all, entangled and all of that. But a cable wire would be proper one, right? So in the same way, when you want to make a routine or when you want to change a particular habit, you have to start shocking your system, because the system will retaliate. It will, give back. It will say, I don't want to change. And your mind is, again, I would say, a very faithful servant. So you have to keep shocking your system into change. Yes? Yes, Prachi, change is the only true constant in life. So we have to consciously change these routines which are no longer giving us any benefit. Just because we've been doing it for many, many years doesn't mean that for the next 10 years we have to continue with the same routine. Does that make sense? So I want you all to take a small pledge with me right now, and if you can do that, if you are not on camera, that's okay. But if you are on camera, it'll be great if you can, take this pledge with me. I want you all to put your right hand on your left heart. Okay, your right hand on your heart, and I want you to repeat, this pledge for yourself. It's like a mantra, so I want you to repeat this after me. Today, I pledge to get out of my comfort zone. Please repeat it after me. Today, I know you must be thinking, what am I making you all do? But let's try this, okay? Today, I pledge to get out of my comfort zone. Today, I pledge to put efforts not on ordinary routines, but on remarkable results. I'll repeat it again. Today, I pledge to put effort not on routines which are no longer serving me, but on remarkable results. Today, I pledge to be a new me. Today, I pledge to be a new me. Okay? So, from the old you to the new you, is that something which excites you? Thank you for that energetic, no response in the chat box. Okay, some of you are responding now. All right. So, thank you. Thank you for that, everyone in the chat box. Thank you for your yeses. It means a lot to me. So what I'm trying to say over here is when you move from the old you to the new you, it's not going to be a very fancy ride. Okay, it'll come with its own set of challenges and obstacles which life throws at us whenever we want to make a change. Definitely, that's what motivates us and encourages us to keep going on and being resilient, right? So what is it that you want to change about yourself, from the old you to the new you? Please put it in the chat box. What is that? And let's not talk about 4 5 things. Let's just talk about one thing which you want to change about yourself, from old you to the new you. I want you to put it in the chat box. Superb. So while you all are flooding the chat box with your answers, I want you to also, now, not now, but once the webinar is over, I want you to start writing down how would you make that change or that transition from the old you to the new you? What needs to happen? What are the actions you are going to take? At least 2 or 3 actions that you're going to take to ensure that you're able to do it. Okay. So that is when the pledge will be successful, and the new you will be successful only once you start putting into action. Okay. So I want to just, share this very interesting quote which I had read, that life's challenges are not supposed to paralyze you. They're supposed to help you discover who you are. Yes. So do not get fearful of the challenges which life throws at you, because definitely life will throw challenges. Whenever you're trying to change, that's the time life is going to throw maximum challenges your way or maximum obstacles your way. And that's to test you, right? So the test begins there. And once you're able to overcome all those hurdles and all of those, challenges which life has thrown your way, then definitely there is a clear view ahead in the tunnel, right? So the tunnel will no longer be dark. It will have a lot of light in it at the other end once you're able to pass through that tunnel with the obstacles and with the different things which life throws at us. All right. So I also want to, take this opportunity to share that I, conduct a 21-day habit challenge, and this challenge is only on WhatsApp. Okay, it's a WhatsApp community that you'll be enrolled into once you enroll for the 21-day habit challenge, wherein we talk about how do you build new habits For example, you want to get rid of procrastination, or you want to start getting up early in the morning for exercise, etc., or you want to stop this overthinking habit, all of those habits that you want to remove from your life and you want to change them into positive habits. This 21-day habit challenge is all about putting in the required exercises which will help you to do that. So we have had about 10 or 12 batches now for this habit 21-day habit challenge. And if you really want to build, and connect with a community of like-minded eagles and amplify your impact and really make that change from the old you to the new you, I would definitely encourage you to join the 21 challenge, because the next batch date is 15th of February, and it's called the 21-day habit reset challenge. So I want to check with you, would you be interested in joining the habit challenge? Because it's something that will help you to really become a new you rather than being an old you, right? So if you are interested, thank you so much, all of you in the chat box with your yeses. What I will be doing is I'll be sharing one second, a QR code. If you want, you can join the habit challenge. It's not priced very highly. It is only 299 rupees for 21 day, and it's through WhatsApp community. You'll get all the exercises to do on that, and I will be also speaking to you at the starting of the 21-day challenge and at the end of the 21-day challenge. In the middle, you'll get all the videos and all the exercises that you need to do in order to build a habit challenge. Okay, so that was the habit challenge from my end. I would really encourage you to join it. Trust me, we have seen some wonderful breakthroughs and game changers which have happened through this habit challenge. People have been able to remove habits that for many, many years they could not remove. So definitely encourage you to join the habit challenge, and my team will reach out to you for more information on the same. So here is the poll. I think Ankit has pulled
A
that
short feedback poll will appear on your screen, so please participate and take a moment uh,
to give your feedback, definitely.
yeah,
And if there's something that you would want the webinar to have improvement on, please do mention that as well.
sure. And if anyone wants to speak with Richa ma'am, please raise your hand. I will allow you to speak and ask any
Yes,
questions.
absolutely. So the last 5-7 minutes we have reserved for Q&A. If you have anything any doubts in your mind or anything you want to ask or check with me on, I'd be happy to answer that for you. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankit. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.